CapitalWeatherGang.com, our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Look at that forecast at a glance for the week coming up. A marvelous Monday, one more nice day. Please get outside and enjoy it. Rain chances, mugginess, humidity, those dew points, they start climbing later Tuesday into Wednesday. We may have a dry period Thursday and Friday, with more rain possible again this weekend, which we'll discuss in a moment. Again, anytime you need us, we're at CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thanks for joining me. I'm Campbell Walker on our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. Let's talk about what we have on the blog for you right now, the latest on Alex moving out to sea at CWG.news/Alex. We discussed how the worst of the storm may have happened in southern Florida, and our Capital Weather Gang Summer Outlook is out at CWG.news/SummerOutlook. It doesn't look horrendous, but it still looks darn warm, so please keep that in mind. Good evening, David. Thanks so much for tuning in. I've got for you a bunch of graphics coming up here on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for joining on the simulcast on our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat later and later. The latest sunset now, look at that, it's pushing it to 8:30 p.m. We've got a few more minutes of daylight to gain up to, by the summer solstice, 14 hours and 54 minutes. So we're getting there. A few more minutes to add there of daylight between sunrise and sunset. Hello, Lisa. A happy good weekend to you too. Thanks so much for joining in. Maria, hello. Thanks for joining. Peter, hello. And Lewis, good evening. You're tracking from Atlantic City right now. You're tuning in. Thank you so much. Breeze all day, I'm sure. And Carrie, hello. Stephanie, hello. Hope you're, Stephanie S and Stephanie W. Thanks both of you for joining in at the same time on Facebook. I love the weekend weather, Stephanie. I can't agree with you more. So please enjoy what we have while we have it. One more nice day. And it's gonna be a memory in the past. But let's look ahead to next weekend first. While I'm talking about the outlook ahead, it looks like we could be warmer, maybe not too muggy coming up this next Saturday. 80 to maybe mid 80s. The rain chances, though, are kind of in the picture. Something could change by the time we get closer. The forecast confidence when looking at next Saturday is somewhat low, but there is a slight chance for excessive rainfall for much of the East Coast. So we need to watch that. We could see some downpours, maybe some patchy flooding by next weekend. So we will keep an eye on that for you at CapitalWeatherGang.com. Not a sure thing, but the signal is there in the atmosphere, and it's not like our region needs all that much rain. Some patches below 90% of year-to-date normal rainfall. Yes, in the yellow and oranges over there near Harrisonburg, but we're doing okay in the rain department, and the drought monitor for the nation shows how good we are doing east of the Mississippi River overall. But you can see maybe a couple patches of yellow, abnormally dry patches in the mid-Atlantic region. Yes, coastal areas of the Carolinas down to Savannah, and even a couple patches in New England as well, but overall much better than the Intermountain West. So we're doing okay in the rain department, and we're not going to say no to this rain over the next 7 days. 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of rain, depending on how much sets up for Saturday. Sorry it's on a weekend, but this time of year, it's the highest evapotranspiration rate. We want to keep the soil nice and moist as best possible, especially when looking ahead maybe past this weekend into next work week. The signal here of the atmosphere is that we're on the threshold, on the line, where we are leaning a little below average for precipitation next work week, and temperatures are leaning maybe a little bit above average, which you might ask me, what's the average for next work week, Camden? 83 for a high, 62 for a low temperature, average at DCA Airport. And pollen allergy sufferers, here's the pollen report for you. I think I'm suffering today from some of this grass, and mold is also high. And in the tropics, of course, expecting an active hurricane season. The number of named storms above average, 65% chance at least of being above average. And Alex, you can see there tracking near Bermuda, but luckily heading out to sea away from southern Florida, where it deluged. The rain's there up to 15 inches in some spots. So keep that in mind. Luckily, no further threats behind Alex in the tropics as it stands now. Here it is, our latest at CWG.news/latest. Forecast giving you one more marvelous Monday, one more awesome day. And as you can see here, the rain chances return Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe a dry patch area again on Thursday, Friday, before more rain potentially for this weekend, with some question marks, with some caveats that things could change, but we're watching it. Could see some rain again by the coming weekend. All right, Laura, so glad you're tuning in. Thanks so much for tuning in. And Lewis, appreciate you checking in from Atlantic City. And Stephanie, yes, can we please keep this weather all summer? That would be so nice. I can only promise you one more day tomorrow, Monday. Please get outside for a long lunch if possible. Today was glorious. Mahia, I totally agree with you. Maiha, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And Karen, perfect weather today. Glad you loved it. And Kristen, any thoughts on the timing of the rain Wednesday? It looks like much of the day will have showers and storms. Maybe the afternoon has a higher chance of some of the slight chance of strong severe storms with some patchy flooding downpours potentially possible. So if you can squeeze in some plans that are outdoors on Wednesday, try in the morning. If you have no way to not have outdoor plans, if they're very important on Wednesday, make sure you have a plan B because it does look like high rain chances for Wednesday. 70% chance, I would go almost 80% chance. And the showers and storms really, even if they're waves and intermittent, it's going to be pretty darn wet on Wednesday. David, don't mind the weekend rain that might come up next weekend. You have an excuse not to go anywhere. I love that. And John, no guarantee of a hurricane or tropical system affecting the mid-Atlantic and the DC area, John, during the hurricane season, which runs from June 1st, just started, through November 30th. Typically later August into early October. That's climatologically when we could see storms, tropical storms or hurricanes being dragged into cold fronts that are approaching the region from the northwest. They're kind of grabbed out of the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic Ocean and moved toward us, generally with some heavy rain and not so much in the way of winds, but that's typically the time of year we see tropical system impacts in the DC area, the mid-Atlantic. Great weather in VB, Arlene. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And Sarah, going camping Saturday. How bad is it looking? Well, I will show you that there is a slight chance for weekend folks of some excessive rainfall. There is no guarantee. It is a slight chance, but for weekend plans, I'm comfortable looking out to Saturday at this point with some question marks, with some low confidence, but the signal is there for the atmosphere to have heavy rains, maybe some patchy flooding. So please have a plan B. If you are thinking about camping on Saturday, just have a plan B in the back of your mind. Let's wait for confidence to increase before making any, non-cancelable decisions and trying to go for refunds of outdoor plans. It's not there yet. It's not a sure thing just yet, but heavy rain is possible for this upcoming weekend. Worth watching, worth staying tuned and checking in daily at capitalweathergang.com. I'm Camden Walker. Thanks as always for tuning in to our weekly Sunday sunset chats on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We have later and later sunsets getting toward the longest days of the year. The summer solstice is approaching when we'll have daylight of 14 hours and 54 minutes between sunrise and sunset. 8:30 sunset though, I love it. We all get to eat dinner and then come tune in and chat together. So let me know if you have any questions about the upcoming forecast. Let's see, we've got Drew. You, yes, would maybe see some severe weather on Saturday. There's a slight chance. I think any strong severe storms this week. Wednesday, slight chance. Saturday, slight chance. With lots of question marks, low confidence. Make sure you're understanding that. Heavy rain does appear to be the main threat. We could see some small hail and maybe a couple damaging wind gusts. But so far, no tornado threats, for instance. It could just be rainmakers we're concerned about with strong severe storms, slight chance on Wednesday and Saturday this week. All right, Amanda. Dry weather Thursday for the elementary school field day. Yes, indeed. We do have decent chances for a dry window this week, Thursday and Friday. So get those field days done if you can. Yes, fingers crossed for the kids, indeed. Joanne, Friday evening weather could start getting a little damper. Showers, maybe an isolated patchy storm as rain chances increase in going into Saturday. But we'll have to stay tuned for timing specifically on Friday evening. I don't want to say it's more than low confidence just yet. The earlier the plans on maybe Thursday afternoon and early Friday afternoon, Friday evening, I'm just more comfortable with you making outdoor plans earlier the better on Friday. Paul is enjoying the perfectly fine weather, and indeed we have one more day. Please get outside for some lunch, long lunch tomorrow. Humidity is under control with those low dew points still behaving themselves. Generally in the 50s one more day. I think 60s creep back into us, into the region for Tuesday, maybe upper 60s on Wednesday, and should see a little bit of a decrease with lower rain chances. Should be a little more comfortable on Thursday, Friday. But then again, Saturday, upper increase in rain chances and dew points kind of increase again as well. So we will be a little more comfortable. And just FYI, the average high temperature as we start this week, 81 degrees for high temperature DCA airport and 60 degrees for a low temperature. So keep that in mind. In our latest forecast, Greg Porter did a great job at CWG.news/latest. Anytime you need us, we're on the blog 24/7 at capitalweathergang.com. I'm Camden Walker. Thanks for tuning in to our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. So Misha, great question. This week, generally waves of showers with some storms intermixed potentially. Slight chance of strong storms Wednesday and maybe again on Saturday. So downpours are possible, some patchy flooding is possible, maybe on Wednesday and maybe on Saturday. So we need to watch that. I don't think it's going to be a strong line of storms as it stands now, but stay tuned to us at capitalweathergang.com. It should not be roving all-day storms roaming the region. So hopefully we can fit in some moments of outdoor plans or some errands on Wednesday and Saturday as well. And I think Tuesday does have more dry moments than not, and it takes until maybe the end of the day to really see the rain chances kick into higher gear on Tuesday. All right, Mike, thanks so much for tuning in. And we've got David, tell your boss to take a long lunch tomorrow. I recommend it, yes. And Mike, let's see, we've got every day is a long lunch when you're tired. I love that. That's hilarious. All right, let's keep moving for what else we do have on the blog for you. The latest on Alex moving toward Bermuda. Generally, it's out to sea with little land threat now and has finally stopped deluging southern Florida with 15 inches of rain there in parts of southern Florida. Go to the latest at CWG.news/Alex. And good news for our CWG.news/SummerOutlook. We don't think it will be a horrendously record-setting hot summer. I remember average temperatures with climate change are going higher and higher with time. Each year, our average high temperatures are getting naturally hotter and hotter. So it's not like we really want to set record highs. And if we have near to slightly below average, it's still pretty darn warm, as we say there in our summer outlook. So keep that in mind. We put this out over the last few days, so make sure you check out the latest content on capitalweathergang.com. And of course, later and later sunsets means I'm talking to you later and later. Next week will be a few minutes later into the evening, but look at that, we're nearing our longest days of the year. On the summer solstice, we'll have 14 hours and 54 minutes of daylight. So we are getting there toward the longest days of the year. Hopefully you're enjoying the evening light, the long daylight, and day length of day. Simulcasting to you right now live on YouTube, on Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you follow us on all three of our platforms there. And we've got Scott. Next Sunday should be hopefully a little less rainy, Scott, but it is unclear and low confidence when the potential weekend wet system is able to move out of the area. Much of the eastern part of the United States is under a slight chance for excessive rainfall next weekend. So let's keep our weekend plans a little flexible for outdoor plans next weekend. That's the best we can do right now, but of course, we'll keep you posted at capitalweathergang.com. Temperatures, at least, as we look ahead to Saturday, around 80 to mid-80s, maybe a little tinge of humidity as the dew points go back up with those increase in rain chances. Naturally, of course, atmospheric moisture is going to make it feel more humid with it raining this time of year, the warm season. So keep that in mind. They're often correlated, our comfort and rain chances. And speaking of rain, when we look at year to date, what is our percent of normal? In the yellows, that's where it's generally below 90%. But most of the region is in the gray, which is around 100%, to green here. The darker the green, even means 125% or more of the annual average rainfall received so far year to date as of today. So overall, it is a little patchy in nature, but of course in the warm season, you've got thunderstorms kind of hit or miss, not huge shields of rain, larger storm systems and nor'easters coming through to more uniformly put down some rain or precipitation throughout the region. But we're doing okay. According to the drought monitor, just a couple yellow spots there of abnormally dry conditions in Virginia. But most of the east of the Mississippi River, we're doing pretty darn well, especially compared to the Intermountain west of the Mississippi River. So keep that in mind. All right, Betsy, you would love to have standard first light earlier on standard time. Man, You are an early riser. I love it. And David, you're good with it when entering the summer season, having this rain surplus. I kind of agree with you. And more is coming over the next 7 days. We've got 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of rain coming. And this goes to the time when you might talk to me next Sunday. Hopefully you'll tune in next Sunday for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. But over the next 7 days, look at that. By next Sunday evening, we could see an accumulation of rain, 1.5 inches. Look at that, even 2.7 inches potentially possible down near Richmond. So we want to generally look at this as not gospel, not specifically kind of honing in on the numbers, but you can see generally east of the Blue Ridge, east of the Appalachians, that's where kind of the favored rain zone is for this upcoming week. That's good to know, because we do want that rain before next work week when we're kind of on the line of slight probability of below average precipitation for next work week. So things might even out for us a little bit after maybe some flooding chances over the next 7 days. When you look out 8 to 14 days, maybe less rain, and then maybe a little bit more heat. We're on kind of the edge, this kind of northern edge of a slight chance of above average temperatures. And average for next work week when looking at this map, 83 degrees for a high temperature, 62 for a low temperature at DC Airport. So perhaps next work week, a little drier with a slight probability of below average precipitation, and perhaps still a little bit warm, a little bit above average with a slight chance of above average temperatures. So something to keep in mind as we get toward next work week. And allergy sufferers, I'm with you. Grass and mold are pretty high. I am certainly feeling it. Hope you are hanging in there. And Alex, you can see there moving out to sea toward Bermuda, general vicinity of Bermuda, but luckily staying out to sea for the most part, moving away from southern Florida after the deluge there. And the outlook this year for hurricane season, which started on June 1st and goes until November 30th, is for 65% chance of above average named storms this year. So we're looking at another active season, unfortunately. And if you're curious about the heat counter, how many 90-degree days have we had? 3 90-degree days so far this year, which is right about average for year to date. So if you are thinking it doesn't feel too bad, kind of feels about average for the warmth this time of year, and maybe you're a warm weather lover, you're doing pretty okay in that warmth category. All right, another 2.5 minutes or so. Let's see, I want to put up our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest and the look ahead of the forecast at a glance. This week starts marvelous on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday gets a little more muggy, higher rain chances. Hopefully we get a dry patch on Thursday, Friday, and then maybe some more rain this weekend, next upcoming weekend, which we'll need to watch. So keep that in mind. With low confidence looking out next weekend, we'll have to keep you posted day by day on next weekend. Stay tuned at capitalweathergang.com. Anytime you need us, we are there 24/7 on the blog. All right, we've got Beth. More rain sounds great, but please not on Saturday. I'm sorry, there is some chance for some rain this next upcoming weekend. Keep our weekend plans flexible if they're outdoors. Don't make any major decisions just yet, since confidence is still low when looking at next weekend. But do have a plan B in the back of your mind. All right, Beth, let's see. Next week, indeed, is June 12th, 13th. And then we've got Ruth Elisa. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. So yes, indeed, just to make sure we're on the same page, we're looking at excessive rainfall possible next weekend, 11th, 12th, 13th, for much of the eastern part of the United States. It is not set in stone. This is not high confidence, so things could change, but the signal is there in the atmosphere that we could see maybe some strong storms with some downpours roaming the region and some waves next weekend. But again, things could change. Just stay tuned as we get closer. At least temperatures are warm next Saturday, around 80 to mid 80s it looks as it stands now. And again, I appreciate you tuning in to these weekly Sunday sunset chats. Later and later sunsets mean you'll talk to me even a few minutes later next Sunday evening. But look at that. We're getting near our longest days of the year. By the summer solstice, we have 14 hours and 54 minutes. Make sure you follow us on all 3 of our channels, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And what else do I need to show you? The amount of rain over the next 7 days, 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches of rain, not impossible by the time you talk to me next Sunday. And I think we've got Alex moving out to sea, in case you were wondering. And of course, the latest on that is at CWG.news/Alex. So make sure you're checking the latest there as it moves toward Bermuda and out to sea. And then, of course, we also have for you on the blog our summer outlook, so keep that in mind as well. And let's see, the latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. And as far as the tropical season, 65% chance of being above average. So we have another active season ahead of us. As I sign off, and I'll check for the last comments and questions, humidity this week generally under control, but it does rise again Tuesday and Wednesday. Dew points mid to upper 60s can't be ruled out, but lower again as the rain chances get lower on Thursday and Friday. So one more marvelous day, marvelous Monday, I'm calling it. Long lunches are recommended. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. And anytime you need us, we're at capitalweathergang.com. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again next Sunday evening. And David, you take care as well. Have a good and safe start to your